Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to remote learning. This is grade 7 social studies. We have started our revision week. Students, I hope you are all fine and you are enjoying your break. But this is the time to revise whatever was taught to you before. For now, we are going to revise two lessons from grade 7 social studies. Both of these are from geography section. Since these two chapters are related much with each other, so that's why I thought to revise them together. Again, before I start with revision of our today's lessons, you people keep your copies and worksheets, whatever was done in class with you, so that you may revise with me easily. So students, let's start today's session. This is page number 67 of your reading book. Open your reading book and open this page. Chapter name is chapter number 8, World's Population. So students, we are going to discuss about the problem which arise as a result of population and its increasingly demanding problems which are rising day by day. Actually, if such kind of population grows without any estimation of the time and the resources, then there will be a huge problem which will be faced by the mankind. So many countries are trying to control the population in their own ways. The China has its policy of one child per family, but this created another problem of gender discrimination. In some areas there were only the girls and the other there were only the boys. So in India, even the gender discrimination and the gender selection, they also have their own drawbacks. So it's better to solve this problem in a sensible way. So better to control the problem in the form of the control of childbirth, and in the same way we have to increase the resources and maintain them at least, so that they may be available for our next generations. This is how the policies could be generated for the solution of this rising problem of world's population. Usually the resources are not evenly distributed throughout the world. There are deserts, mountains, forests, and sometimes the fertile river valleys in different areas of the world. So population is sometimes highly confined to those areas which are rich in resources. Even we can imagine this from the map which is given on page number 67, that population is denser in those regions where the resources are high. With the passage of time, the records are maintained after performing such kind of census, so that the resources can be evaluated and they may be supplied in those areas which have the high number of population. So population in Pakistan, you can see from this record, we have the majority which is made up of youngsters, and now you can imagine that with the passage of time, the generations which are coming ahead, they will have to face the problem of the shortage of resources if the population control and its problems are not solved. In the same way, the life expectancy is not same throughout the world. In some areas, the life expectancy is very low because of the incidence of diseases, and these includes the African countries mostly, where the HIV/AIDS and the inadequate treatment facilities they result into the death of the people. And in the same way, some countries they are having the higher uh, life expectancies because they are developed. They have solved their population and its problems in a better way, and they are trying to increase their resources, but again the problems are still there. So problem management is the biggest thing if we want to discuss about the world population. More efficient farming is required, more efforts are required to provide the education to the high rising population, and similarly growing of more food is one of the most important thing. In the same way, population control is the very important step if we want to control the whole world and the number of people who are living in it. Some people they are very much confined to their traditional customs and methods, so they also need to change their mindset because the change in the orthodox methods would lead to the better availability of resources in the form of education and other fields as well. So, with the passage of time, whenever the population rises, the citizens of any country they try to move in those areas which are having the adequate resources. So, mostly people go towards the cities, and this is how the resources which are available in the cities they are under the high pressure or burdened, and these include the resources of housing, jobs, better facilities, and standards of life. So people have there is a, you can say, the selection of better, and there is a competition for availability of whatever are the resources present, and to gain them there is a competition at each and every level among the people. So if we talk about the urbanization, this results in the major problems, and there is a competition for each and every facility of life, and usually this competition is faced by each and every person who is a member or who is living in a developing country. So more and more time is required, and more uh, better management skills are required in order to control the world's population. So let's start with the revision of the question and answers of this chapter. As I already told you, these the two chapters which are going to be discussed for today they are interrelated. So our first question on page number 74 is, what problem does rapidly increasing population causes for a country? The causes, it can cause the basic shortage of the food, basic amenities, job, housing, resources, and it can lead to the unrest into the society and bad health even in the criminal activities. Second question is, how has China, being the biggest population in the world, solved this problem? Do you agree with their methods? No, it is not agreeable because one child per family policy is not suitable for any kind of society. So third question is, find out where can the 10 countries of the lowest expectancies are located. So the answer is they are located mostly in Africa, and this is due to the high percentage of diseases in such areas, and due to these diseases there is a death rate increase in the death rate as well. Now question number 4 is, how can the longer life does discuss how longer life expectancy changes the lifestyle of the people and how the government must react. So the answer for this is longer expectation of life means the major rethink of the government and how to cope the problem with the aging population. So this is the provision of the healthcare for the elder people need the most attention, and it is a major worry for the expenses and provision of the enough medical staff. In the countries where the state provides a pension to the retired, the burden is falling onto the smaller and the smaller group of the people who are of the working age. Our next question is, why do you think that people move to the countryside to the cities? I have already told you in the search of the better facilities, people usually move towards the city and the city life. Last question is, what are the advantages and disadvantages of the life in a big city? So life in a big city has its own advantages. For example, opportunities are higher in the big cities. There are more entertainment and better health and education facilities. And the disadvantages include the pollution, fumes, noise, crowd, and accommodation will be poor in those areas. So with this I will conclude this chapter. We will talk to each other inshallah very soon. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.